Did you have any other healings that you remember? Well, this last one we want to say, well, I I had a lot of pains. I started with the tinnitus in my ears, and then the head, the teeth. Okay, in short, I went to the ENT because I meant at least he will heal the ears. As he said, "No, sorry, I can help you. You should go to the dentist." This is called Costen syndrome. And so you have an infection above the jaw, and that comes to the head. That's why the tinnitus, that's why the vertigo, that's why you feel bad. Okay, at the eve of the Immaculate Heavenly Mother in December, I start going to the dentist for 6 months. They fix the whole mouth. Let's say, then after I felt better. Before all those, even before going to the ANT, in the mornings I could not get up because the head was so dizzy. How could I do it? Therefore, for some days, my daughter and my husband were helping me to get up from bed, and then sitting on the sofa. I was not feeling my legs anymore and was staying there. After some days of this care, in front of my bed, there is an image of his holy face, and he said to me, "Get up." But Jesus, don't you see how I am? Yes, yes. And do you have faith in me? Yes. And so get up. And you can imagine I was sleeping with 2, 3 pillows, and slowly I sat down. And what an oddity, my head is not dizzy anymore. So I step down, I go to the kitchen, and my daughter, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" "I don't know. He told me to get up." I got up. The legs are not aching anymore. I was still a bit numb. I walked some days with a cane. Then I threw everything. It was all gone, and everything went back to what it was before. Yes, incredible. Thanks to these apparitions, other people also close to you or people who follow these messages have had healings that can testify. Well, my daughter could testify because she suffered from multiple sclerosis, and one day I come back home from the mass and I say, "Look, Jesus told me he healed you. You don't say nobody healed me. Up to you. He told me so, and I report it to you." A couple of days later, I go to mass every day. He tells me, "Tell to your daughter that I healed her." I come back home and I say, "Look, he told me again, then think what you want, but you are healed." And she said at that point she thinks about it for a while, and then afterwards she talks to a priest friend of her, and he said, "Yes, yes, look, you are healed. If your mother says so, you are healed." She was not longer able to move her arm, her legs. You was using the catheter, in short, all those things. She could no longer move? No. So it was serious. Yes, it was very serious. But this friar then said she should have gone to Collevalenza because over there is Mother Speranza that was healing from the courses. Because remember, my daughter, that this is disease has come from a course. So then we get on. She was already healed, and every week we went to Mother Speranza. We did it for years, a couple of years, and the nuns were always asking how was going on. They said they were praying for her, and also the priest was always so nice to us. But we did nothing but to testify. That's all we did. In fact, let's remain on this topic that you just touched upon. And since your daughter is here with us, you can explain in detail what happened. Yes, on 2012, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and suddenly overnight, I had no feeling at all in the legs and one arm. So I wondered what's happening. I went to doctor. He said, "Do the MRI. From MRI with contrast media, we should be able to see something." Most likely, my family doctor already realized that it was something more severe than a back pain or mild things. Then I went to the military hospital and did the MRI, but it took a week to do it as the machine was going for sanitation. In the meantime, they kept me in the hospital. They began to apply for IC to regain the sensitivity in the legs. And little by little, I was regaining more sensitivity in the legs, but not so much. And the arm functioned so and so, the legs functioned so and so. You were blocked. Yes, I was with the drips. Don't know what was inside, but I guess strong bullets, as in fact something was starting to change. However, my diagnosis was made at the end of the week because actually from MRI with contrast media, it resulted it was multiple sclerosis. I had small plaques in the brain and in 2 points on the spinal cord. Once the diagnosis was made, I started treatment with interferon and was doing injections on my legs. They promptly explained me that this type of disease has no cure, has no chance of healing. It only gets worse over the time, but you can try to slow it down. And therefore, these interferon injections were used to potentially try to slow it down. I did it for a few months. These injections, I should have done them for all life. This was for sure, for all the life, truly, yes. Then followed by another doctor from another hospital, because that hospital, they didn't have appropriate treatment for multiple sclerosis. So I was followed from another hospital in Rome, and my doctor was making me continue these injections. So I continued for a few months, and I also continued to do the MRI, and the plaques were there. The plaques in the brain, the plaques in the spinal cord, the plaques of MS. Then I went on a pilgrimage with my mother and my father to Pietralcina at the house of Father Pio, practically. There I met a priest, and talking to him, he said, "Look, your illness, DEBORA, has come from a course. It's the consequence of a course. It's something strong. But you should not worry, like a doctor's prescription, because you, for these things, for MS, there is Collevalenza. You go to Collevalenza, take a bath in the merciful water of Jesus, and Collevalenza is the only source of water that was made to gush from Jesus, while other spring sources in the world like Lourdes, and we all know Bano and others that were made gush from the Heavenly Mother. It's the Heavenly Mother that asked God, that Almighty. So instead, this was made to gush from Jesus. He told Mother Speranza to walk from Spain to Italy to dig in that precise point at Collevalenza, and the geologist had analyzed the soil. There was no water. It was impossible to find water. Nothing was there. Once the source of water was found, it was unclear where this water was coming from, and Mother Speranza kept receiving the messages, and Jesus was saying, "This will be my blessed water for the healings." Now you open the spring for men and ladies. There are the pools like in Lourdes, and in the pools I want the water to be slightly warm, because when they enter, my children have to feel the love embrace of the Father, the warmth, the love of Father's embrace. So when there, I took this bath in Collevalenza. Then I got out, and actually I was completely dry. It is requested to go to the changing room to dress up, and I was completely dry, as it is said it happens in Lourdes, but I have never been to Lourdes. Then from that bath, I truly commenced immediately to feel better, immediately. The legs went back to normal. I no longer have back pain. My arm was functioning again. Everything was functioning. So it was inexplicable. Mother Speranza of Jesus, I'm sure that the water of merciful Jesus at Collevalenza did the miracle, as well as I'm pretty sure that there was the collaboration of Father Daniele Evich, because I don't know the reason. The heaven has chosen for me two saints that interceded for my healing. So Mother Speranza of Jesus, Collevalenza, and then Father Daniele Evich. I never had the name of this priest. Actually, I didn't know, but I had received his picture 12 years earlier, my diagnosis of MS, and sometimes I was praying for him, because of my family friends were saying, "Pray for this priest because he's suffering." So sometimes I was praying for him. I didn't know also him was affected by MS. He became priest and suffered MS for more than 30 years. He gave his life for young people, and I'm totally sure he interceded for me. He's a great saint. I'm sure my guardian angels have knocked so much to the sky that I know it so much that they convinced them by desperation that at the end they considered this healing of mine inexplicable after there had been the healing of Bounce breast tumor where they gave her 6 months of life. Yes, I would like to ask which connection there is between the message from your mother that your mother received and your healing. It has been a direct message. See, my mom is conducting rosary at home every Wednesday. Everyone can join. Since more than 18 years this happening. But very rarely she has messages for the single persons. This happens very seldom for some priest, for some person. One day she comes back from a mass in the week. So she looks at me and says, "Deborah, Jesus told me I have healed her." At that point, I have 100,000 of doubts. In spite of my faith being there, I'm an active believer. I said, it's not possible in the same family. He does two miracles. There is no logic in this thing. Jesus has no logic. God, the Almighty, which logic he has. After 3 days, Mom returned home more serious. She looks at me in the face and says, "Well, he told me again, I hear her." Okay, Jesus, I stop it. Forgive me. It's all right. So I quit the medicines. I didn't take an interferon injection anymore since 2012. We are in 2021. I'm fine. But the doctors, however, were telling me, my doctor then, when I went to explain this thing, I said, "Look, Jesus told me through my mom that he cured me." "Oh, are you joking? Are you joking? You are my failure," in an aggressive mode, angry. So much. Yes, absolutely. My doctor scolded me. There was his nurse next to me becoming pale. But I was serene, as Mom told me that already twice that Jesus revealed her that he had healed me. The doctor obviously was not believing in that at all. The nurse was getting pale from all the was he was scolding towards me. "You are my failure," and he was typing at the laptop. "You are my failure. So we meet here again. In few years we meet here again, because I know you will not be healed." I can't understand. But I understand for me it has been difficult to believe it. It has been really difficult to understand it. The faith, extremely difficult. But that's the way it is. Very inexplicable. But that's it. The doctor seems to be offended because the healing was not due to them, but actually to Jesus Christ, who intervened on it clearly.